It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity, and it is the grand reveal in Pasadena. Now, I know what you're thinking. Laura, where have you been the last couple of days? Well, I've been here. We've been here. But you know what? One day on day 4, we were so wrapped up in irrigation, and that was boring. And then yesterday, I thought we're so close to being finished. I just want you to have that wow, okay? So here we are, um, all done,
What used to be here?
all done. This bed was, had bay, you know, the culinary bay leaf, bushes, big bushes. There was a lime tree here where the plicatillus now lives. This garden has just, it was time. You know, it was time for something new. It was just not loved anymore, and it showed. So our clients are so excited and so inspired, and that's everything to us. My team has worked so hard here for 6 days to create something completely different. And those of you that are familiar with Pasadena know that Pasadena is an old city, and the landscaping is so beautiful. It's giant old trees that meet in the middle of the streets, and gigantic hedges, and just lots of greenery and age. And you know me, I don't like trees, but I love Pasadena and I love all of that. But, and this home has that out front, but we can have business in the front and party in the back, right? We can do, I have to say that, you know, cactus and succulents in Pasadena on a large scale in the front, no. I said it. But in the back, heck yeah. So we brought in 10, actually about 12 yards of soil, because 10 yards was not enough for this approximately 1,200 square foot space. We ended up going and getting the Kellogg's 3 cubic foot. We got a couple of yards more just to give us more height. Matt Jones from Rare Roots and Waterwise Botanicals and Caesar from Sun Valley brought in some spectacular statement plants. We had this wonderful euphorbia that has been living here. We did remove some of the limbs. It looks a lot better now. We moved in a cool bench over here. That was a last minute entry. And do we want to show them the cute little patio now? All right. This you haven't seen because it was covered in a tarp with a bunch of crap all over it. But look at this. This is an old coat rack. And Greg attached it with brackets so it's stable. And I wanted to pull things in that would be really easy care. Our clients travel a great deal and aren't always here to, you know, tend fussy things. So sedum jacobensii for the W. This can really tolerate almost no water, and then it'll turn just a deep mauve with the stress. The little donkey tails, these also will tolerate a lot of abuse. And this new little sedum shooting stars from Oasis is kind of a little bit of a spiller. This one is growing in a rock garden at Oasis in 100, 110 degree heat and doing fantastic. We found a little nursery here called Lincoln Avenue Nursery in the heart of Pasadena that came in clutch. We got some terracotta pots, little gymnocalacium, some other astrophytum, you know, just little cactus that we could display to kind of initiate our clients into the cactus and succulent world. These plants are all pretty darn new to them. Ice top dressed some of these, Hannah top dressed some of these. It really was a community effort. Our client specifically requested citrus trees, and I wanted to honor that request, but at the same time, I didn't want standard trees that were going to take over the garden. So we went ahead and potted them up in their favorite color, orange. I got the pots from Planter's Paradise in El Cajon, California. Oh,
Lava hot box too.
yes, you know, my boulders, I bought a pallet, a big, not a pallet, but a big boulder box full of pot rocks. We got, I don't know, 4 ton, I think, of Baja Cresta. We had Jasper Purple. We had some Honey Onyx and these beautiful jade boulders. And naturally, they all arrived, and I thought, oh my gosh, I have too many rocks. And I didn't. We used every single one. It was perfect. I think we nailed it more on the rock this time than before. Also in this garden, these big, what I call Pasadena rocks were already here, the gray ones. And I don't love them. You know, I don't love the gray rocks, but I knew that incorporated into the new design that they would be great. And sure enough, they are. So you can, don't second guess, or do second guess yourself. If you have some elements in your yard that you're about, you know, once you get it done, you may just surprise yourself.
We underplanted.
Yeah, and then we ran our installation all the way to the back wall. These podocarpus hedges will leaf out. There were some olive trees, planted 3 giant olive trees in this yard that were creating so much shade that these poor hedges didn't really have a chance. They will now leaf out. The client had a bunch of these Pasadena rocks, I call them, the Arroyo rock, that he really wanted to get rid of. So we just slung them down underneath the hedge, which I like that, you know, gave that a little bit of depth.
We also underplanted this aloe with
Yeah, that aloe, which I believe is a speciosa of some kind, got underplanted with a couple of Cameronii that are already turning red. Remember, I always work with Cameronii as a cutting. But how fun are these pot rocks? You know, you can really get creative with the presentation of these too, and you can plant stuff in them, throw rocks in them, pretty much whatever you want. Yeah, it's just so fun to stroll, and you'll notice there are no formal pathways out here. You can do formal paths, but sometimes it's fun to keep it organic, you know? It feels good to just meander through the space. Yes, we pulled in, oh my gosh, so many 1 gallons from Oasis Water Efficient, and we did tapestry, sprays of tapestry all over the yard. Not, you know, I didn't overdo it. Well, probably did, but I tried not to overdo it because, you know, tapestry is maintenance. But just kind of splashed them around. See there? This Aloe tongaensis tree, one of you commented, you know, we had the blood orange here, and we all agreed that it was just taking up way too much valuable real estate. So the blood orange got planted out in the front yard, the tongaensis went in here, along with a big mangave, and resinifera, another barrel cactus, and just did a little splash of tapestry there next to the barbecue for people to enjoy. We covered every square inch of this with intention. Hannah and Miguel and Omar and Ralph worked back here in the pool area, and this is like new. I mean, this is crazy how beautiful this came out. Again, I wanted to make this a place where our clients could really feel like they were at a retreat. I mean, look at this installation that Hannah, this was you. Yeah, Hannah did this. Isn't this stunning?
Our client loves sticks on fire.
Yeah, the sticks on fire, our client adores orange and really loves this plant. And this was a hedge of sticks that had been hacked and hacked and hacked, and it looked so bad. So I reintroduced, and of course we'll maintain them at the proper height. But this is just really so simple, but it's just so pleasant and elegant. Over here, we popped in the Yucca filifera, and we have our Aeonium sunburst and our Calandrinia spectabalis in the bed underneath the podocarpus. This, there's no water here in this little bed, so I popped in some really tough customers and a pop of color here. This Picarnia recurvata was in a broken pot, shoved over in the back. Yeah, just the poor thing. You poor thing. I know, right? So now you got cleaned up and you got put in a pretty yellow pot and top dressed with jade chips and watered. And this Picarnia won the lottery. This is living its best life now. And I think will be really, really enjoyed and appreciated in this spot. Miguel did a beautiful job in here with the tapestry. Then we noticed that the edges were just dirt. I mean, they just looked not good. So again, brought in the Pasadena rock from along the side of the house, mixed it in with some of our rubble, then just threw down some chamois beige top dressing, and now this area looks really, really finished. All with materials that were basically on site. So maintenance here should be extremely straightforward. We have a employee, Ralph, that lives close by that can come deal with any tragedies, like if something falls over or something. But we should be good to come back up in about a year to do our first annual maintenance. And I think that this garden will definitely be enjoyed to the fullest. So we'll be in La Mesa next week on a really killer installation, and then in Carlsbad after that. So I really, really look forward to seeing all of you there. Remember to follow me on Instagram at Laura Loves Succulents to see a lot of behind the scenes stuff that Hannah uploads. Thank you again to my incredible crew, to Corona Tools, to our clients that were so gracious and lovely. Thanks to our vendors, to Greg, and to the Academy. I don't know who else to thank, I guess Jesus, but you get the idea. This has been Laura Eubanks with your Grand Reveal in Pasadena. Bye, guys.